All right guys, today we're checking out the HappyRun G70. So this is a really interesting looking bike. The last HappyRun that we reviewed was the G300. That one was a high performance electric e-bike with a really large rear hub motor. This is more of kind of a traditional cargo e-bike or moped style e-bike. The frame almost has kind of like a V shape. You can see the curve right here on the saddle. We have like a lightning cutout over here, kind of reminiscent of a very popular e-bike brand. I do like how the batteries are mounted on the frame, top and bottom kind of like facing each other. We review a lot of moped style electric e-bikes on the channel, and we just want to look for stuff that kind of stands out. Anyway, let's walk through all the features. The first thing that we have are these 20x4 inch fat tires, all-terrain fat tires, pretty standard for this style of electric bike. The integrated fender. Now this fender is actually only mounted with one bolt over here. Usually you have the mounting bars that kind of connect to the fork. You can see over here, and this fender doesn't have that. I think it actually gives it a bit of a cleaner look, in my opinion. Over here we have the DY Island hydraulic disc brakes, 160mm rotor. We also got the front suspension fork over here with the preload adjustment and the compression adjustment. As we work our way to the top, we have a bit of a rise on the handlebars, and they're slightly swept back. Ergonomic rubber grip, display controls over here. To turn on the bike, you have to hold down this S button, and then you get these double lines, and then this blue light over here for the NFC. So you take the NFC card, put it over here on the left, turns the bike on, bright center mounted, I believe this is an LCD display. And then you have the display controls over here. So you got the headlight switch, show you guys what that looks like. Off, on, off, on. So it looks like when it's off, you do have the daylight running lights on the sides, like a halo. Another cool feature are the integrated turn signals. So this actually has front turn signals as well as rear turn signals. So we'll try that. We'll do the left signal. On the display, you see the icon blinking. Here's what it looks like on the front. You got the sequential from left to right. And this is what it looks like on the rear, right to left. And then the brake light also has brake functionality, so that center light gets brighter. With the left still on, you can also turn on the right. So now you have the hazards on the rear. Here's what the horn sounds like. Got the 7-speed Shimano shifter, and then like I said, this is the S button. This is the power button. You also hit S to change the ride modes from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 riding modes, and then you have a right hand half twist throttle. Now let's talk about power. Now this does come with 2 chargers, which are identical, but the actual batteries are slightly different. So the top mounted battery is a 48 volt, 20 amp hour removable battery. And then the bottom battery is a 48 volt, 18 amp hour removable battery. Now what's interesting about this setup is that it's not wired in parallel. So on the display, where we have like a full battery over here, that's actually only reading the top battery. And so when you run out of juice, or you get close to running out of juice on the top one, so what you have to do is actually go to this switch over here. It's a knocker switch with 3 settings. So when it's on the center, both batteries are not connected. And then the bottom one is for the top, and the second one is for the bottom. So just something to keep in mind. I actually didn't realize that switch was located over here. So when I was riding the bike, I was wondering why I was losing battery so fast because I had 2 batteries connected. So don't worry about it. The batteries are not connected in parallel. You just have to manually select which battery you want to use. Not quite sure the reason for that. I mean, I do like that there is a kind of a kill switch that's hidden. So if you do disable both batteries, it means that the bike won't power on. And chances are, if someone's trying to take your bike or ride it away, they won't know that there's a switch located here. Here we have a very comfortable saddle seat. You have a hump on the front to keep you locked in, and plenty of cushion for really long rides. Here we have a rear suspension shock. I don't know what the brand is. It looks like there might be some preload adjustment. And again, this is something that can be easily swapped out if you want to upgrade it. You also have these integrated foot pegs, which are for passengers. And I'll show you guys in a second, there is an optional accessory if you want to add a passenger. Here's a look at the DY Island hydraulic disc brakes in the rear, integrated rear fender, and this is the optional cargo rack. So you have a max weight of 15 kilograms, which is about 33 pounds. It also has this optional passenger seat, which can be mounted over here, and you also have a backrest that goes underneath it. If you want to add a passenger, probably a small child, then this is probably a good accessory for that. Here's a look at the motor, which is a 1000 watt rated, 2000 watt peak rear hub motor. Here's a look at the rear derailleur, and the total weight of this bike is 96 pounds. So now that we've gone over all the features of the HappyRun G70, let's take it out for its first ride. Okay, first ride with the HappyRun G70. So we have the cargo rack attachment instead of the seat. On the way here, I did have my camera gear and a bag mounted back here. We're using it right now, so that's why there's no cargo. So yeah, this configuration definitely looks pretty beefy. So my inseam is about 29 inches or 30 inches. And so this is what it looks like sitting. And so as you can see, I can't quite flat foot the bike. Because of the design of the seat, it's kind of pushing me forward. I do feel like I'm locked in. I think the bars could probably be pushed out just a little bit more because right now it feels kind of cramped. Anyway, let's just start the bike. So I'm gonna hit the S button here on the right. NFC card, you gotta swipe it on the left side. And we will start at pedal assist level 1. No throttle, just pedaling. And takes a few revolutions for the motor to kick in. Okay, there you go. Yeah, so that took like 3 or 4 revolutions for the motor to engage. So I think it has to kind of hit a certain speed for the pedal assist to activate. Still no throttle, just pedaling. What gear am I on? I'm on the 7th gear, so I do feel like I really need to exert some pedaling force on pedal assist level 1 for it to activate. And because the bike is pretty heavy, it takes a little bit to get up to speed for pedal assist level 1 to activate. So let's bump it up to pedal assist level 2. Still no throttle. And yeah, again, a bit of a delay on that pedal assist. But yeah, once the sensor kicks in, it's fine. It just takes a little bit to get moving. And for a bike that's this heavy, you feel that weight, right? You definitely feel that weight. So let's go to pedal assist level 3 now. So it does feel like the sensor is more responsive on pedal assist level 3. So I feel like if you did not want to use throttle with this bike, I think 3 is really a good balance for the power to weight ratio, in that it feels like a traditional e-bike when you pedal. So it's exerting enough force to push both your weight and the weight of the bike in a way that feels natural. Whereas the lower pedal assist levels, you definitely feel the weight of the bike more. Okay, let's just go to 5 now. Still no throttle, and I do need to really, again, once this bike slows down, the weight, the weight is tough to deal with because the sensor is not activated anymore. So then you're just kind of using your legs to propel this bike, which is a little bit heavy. All right, so now that we are at speed and the sensor has been activated, plenty of power off the line, really easy to maneuver. Give it a little bit of throttle here, and the throttle response, very nice, very, very quick, no delay. There's a bit of a delay in the pedal assist, but no delay in the throttle here. Very cool. Stand up a little bit. And then let's talk about suspension. Not a ton of cracks on the road here. We'll take it up the hill, we'll take it off road. But I gotta say, this is super, super comfortable. We do have the monoshock in the rear. We do have the front suspension fork, and the saddle seat is just super comfy. So yeah, I think this is gonna do really well on our off-road test. Let's do a brake test. So I'm gonna go all the way down there. Full pedal assist level, full throttle, 25 miles per hour, 26, and brake. Wow. You can see the line where I stopped. Honestly, that was actually pretty decent considering the weight of this bike. So glad this came with hydraulic disc brakes. Mechanical would have been way too mushy for the weight of this bike. The tune is really good, especially on the top end, right? And just feels really comfortable, easy to maneuver, especially for the weight of the bike. And I really think that, yeah, on the top end, this thing is just really easy to control. At the slower speeds, it just feels a little bit heavier, right? Especially if you're just trying to use pedal assist, it's just a little too heavy, you know, off the line. But if you're just kind of cruising along like this, kind of perfect, easy to steer. You could go up this hill, see how that goes. All right, transition on to the grass, super comfortable, pedaling up the hill, try to get up this, and no issues whatsoever, heading back down. Woo! Yeah, I mean, super comfortable off the hill. Let's see if we could actually get back up going the other way. And, woo! A little bit tougher without having the momentum, but was able to do it. Down the hill, no issues there. And then transition onto the pavement. And yeah, that was tons of fun. I gotta say, that suspension is amazing. A lot of bikes that we take up that hill are usually really uncomfortable, but that was kind of like a perfect test. I kind of want to do it again. See if we could do it again. There we go. Transition back onto off-road. Pedal up the hill. And back down. And no problem. Woo. Super comfortable. Honestly, riding on the grass is like super comfortable. Back up. And then head back down one more time. Oh yeah. Woo. And wow, really impressive.
Let's recap the specs. The HappyRun G70 is a dual battery, fat tire cargo e-bike built on a stainless steel frame. It features an integrated headlight, tail light with turn signals and brake functionality. And the large center-mounted color LCD display makes it easy to read your speed, battery life, and power level. With NFC key card tech, the G70 blends security with convenience. It comes with a rear seat for passengers and has the option for a rear rack, all while weighing in at around 96 pounds. Power comes from a 1,000-watt rated 2,000-watt peak rear hub motor along with dual batteries. The top battery is 48-volt, 20 amp hours, and the bottom is 48-volt, 18 amp hours. However, the batteries aren't wired up in parallel, so you'll have to manually switch them. The G70 hits speeds over 30 miles per hour, offers 5 pedal assist modes, has a right-hand half-twist throttle, and features a 7-speed shifter. Comfort is handled by a front suspension fork, rear shock, and hydraulic disc brakes, while 20 by 4-inch fat tires give it decent grip across most terrain.
Okay, so first impressions with the HappyRun G70. If you're familiar with moped-style e-bikes, this will feel right at home for you. The previous HappyRun that we reviewed was sort of a high-powered electric bike. This is more kind of like the traditional cargo e-bike. However, I think the design and I think the power and tune of the controller is very similar to their other models. Pretty strong low-end torque, so you just have to sort of be experienced or you have to get used to it. It's not really gradual, at least with the throttle. So just keep that in mind, especially if you have a passenger in the back. I like the dual battery setup. I think this should give you plenty of range. The only nitpick for me is that I wish it was parallel, because when I'm looking at the battery level. I am not thinking that it's just for the single battery. I'm thinking it's my total overall battery level, which can be confusing. Not exactly sure why they have it as individually wired with a switch. I'm sure there's a reason, I just can't think of it off the top of my head. If you know, leave it in the comments below. I think I just prefer having a parallel wired setup, just less things to think about, to be honest. The saddle seat is interesting. You definitely, are sort of like mounted closer to the front of the handlebars than these bikes are usually designed. Usually you're kind of sitting further back. And I did notice, like, getting on and off the bike, I was kind of like hitting my leg and my foot against the cargo rack, but that's common for bikes with those kinds of accessories. NFC card is cool. I mean, it's kind of like another extra step to get into the bike. So for security, it's pretty cool to have that. But when you just kind of want to start the bike and get going, it's like another thing. Integrated turn signal lights, like the sequential lights in the rear as well as in the front. Back in the day, this is something you had to do yourself. You had to wire these lights yourself. But everything else about the bike is pretty standard. I think the frame is really unique. Comfort-wise, it was pretty comfortable. Monoshock right here. Front suspension fork is pretty decent as well. And then obviously the fat tires will absorb even more shock. But I honestly think this is probably good for like commuting. Overall, I think it's a solid recommend, especially for its class. And I think the price point is pretty good for all the features that you get.
Here's what we like. The HappyRun G70 brings some standout features like a keyless NFC security card for easy unlocking, a fully integrated lighting system for visibility, and flexible cargo options with an optional rear rack or passenger seat. But here's some things to consider. The dual batteries aren't wired in parallel, so you'll need to manually switch between them. Its size and weight could make transporting or storing it a bit of a hassle, and if you misplace the NFC card, getting back on the road might be tricky. Overall, the HappyRun G70 is an affordable cargo e-bike with some thoughtful features like a dual battery setup. However, its weight and manual battery switching could be a drawback for some. So what do you think of the HappyRun G70? Is this the long-range e-bike you've been waiting for, or do you want more? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.